Horse racing fans, what's going on? Welcome back to Gallop Racer 3, Gallop Racer 1999, however you want to refer to it. Continuing on, it'll be a shorter video today, a couple races on the card. 4-year-old filly, Bless My Path. Her pedigree's come a long way, and she's racing at a very high level. She'll be kicking off the card here today, I believe. It'll either be her or her stablemate, 2-year-old filly Sleepy Ruin down here. Beautiful gray. We just acquired her, so she's just been introduced. We'll have to wait and see exactly what the order is. I don't really know how to determine that in this game. Like, I'm not sure if it's... Yeah, I don't know. That's all I'm trying to say. So we will figure it out. And we are in the month of October, week 3. Lots of points, and you guys have pretty much been telling me to just save my points for better horses in the shop. And I agree, there's nothing worth taking a huge gamble on. Of course, you can always entertain looking at some. Like, I like Lonely Club, personally. I think this is a solid colt that you could build a solid foundation on. But at 121,000, could be reasonable depending on who you ask. I mean, honestly, for me, like, if I was in a position to have the space to acquire this colt, I would. Let's actually look at the fillies real quick as well. You know, depending on the player, the user, you might think that's too high or too low. I think that's reasonable, but again, because it's hard to grind points, which is currency, the main currency in this game, like, you don't really want to spend it unless you're for sure that you have plans. Like, Lee's Gold would be fun, but I think I've used her in this game before. I feel like they definitely buffed her later in the series. I feel like she was actually quite nerfed in the beginning of this entire franchise. And as we got Gallop Racers 2003 and 2004, that's when I think you saw Lee's Gold at her best. So in this game, she's not quite as good as she is in the later titles. But I think if you're an early game player, you're looking to pick her up. 44,000, that to me makes sense for Lee's Gold. If you have at least over 100,000 points, you can make that happen. And I think she'll give you a solid baseline as long as you use the right colt. She's not very fast in this game. She's not extremely fast in the later titles either, but much better than what they started her off with. So she's a horse that they gave more attention to as this series rolled on. Ardent Moon is an interesting 2-year-old filly here. Really fast on the turf. 85 is pretty solid. And great braking. 6 to 8. She's extremely good at that mile distance. Doesn't have much of the stamina. So she'll set the pace. She'll set it hot. She'll set it fast. And she'll burn out quickly in the stretch is kind of what her profile says. So she's a horse that you have to really get into that rhythm right off the bat with a great start, take the lead, establish comfortable control, and then settle her down enough where she won't burn out in the end. So that's, I've ridden horses like that, and it's one of two things. It's great and it's a heck of a ride, or it's still a heck of a ride and it's just you don't know what you're going to get with the horse on any given day. You know, it's usually one of the two. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out down the line, if that's a horse we race against or if she pops up at a later time when we have space. I'd be interested to see if she'd be worth it. Sometimes those type of front-running fillies end up being really good at actually providing a framework for your future generation of horses. You may not think it in the moment, but the long-term play with a horse like her is actually worth it if you're in the position to make it happen. So we'll be kicking off the card here today in week 4. I'll see you guys there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, kicking off the card here today is the 2-year-old filly Sleepy Ruin. And that's kind of what I figured. I think it starts based off of age, right? Whether it's the colt or the fillies, I don't know, but I think it's the 2-year-old class regardless starts the card, and then the races progress based off of, I think. I could be completely wrong, so don't actually listen. Anyways, we're co-favorites with Pink Amber today, the 10 horse. I meant to actually look at that horse, but I guess we're just getting right to the race, which actually might as well, right? I feel like I take too long sometimes actually to get to the race. Maybe it's good for a change. I say it all the time, man. I love the look of this game. It really is how I saw horse racing when I was growing up. If I could describe it in some form of an artistic form, right? If I had the capabilities of drawing or whatever, like this is kind of how I would design it based off of how I saw it in real life when I would go out to my local track. So, my nostalgia's always kicking in, but it's genuine. You know what I mean? It's why I always come back to playing this game, not just because of the nostalgia, but because I think for the first game in the series, when you really think about it, it's very basic, but they hit almost every cylinder of what you would need in a first full capacity horse racing game that had never been made like this on console before. You know, I think Tecmo did an amazing job in hindsight. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I think that was pretty cool. So let's see if we can make a late push here with Sleepy Ruin. Can the Gray make it happen? She's putting in good strides. Furlong left to go. She's got a crazy surge here, and she might get it done, but no. Looks like Arrival on the outside took advantage of that. And we're going to finish second, which, depending on how you look at it, is good or bad. For me, it's like I would have wanted to win that race, but Pink Amber's a good horse. Okay, most of you know that are familiar with this game. If you're not familiar with this game, Pink Amber, she's a really good filly, really good 2-year-old filly, in fact. I would pick her up if I were anybody. And yeah, she had post position 10, and she had pretty much a easy run on the outside. Sleepy Ruin is a closer. Keep that in mind as well. So she's a closer that doesn't have like crazy top end speed, even though she is fast. So just getting her dialed in. But that result technically could have been a win or a second place finish. We finished second. And Pink Amber just seemed like she was on another level. I don't know if I would have even, I just don't know if us in our position would have even had a real chance, you know, to compete with Pink Amber, even if everything went right. So we'll go ahead and take that result. Continue to work with her. She's the newest filly added to the racing stables that I've had to work with. So just give me some time. By mid 3-year-old season, she'll be ready to go. Welcome to the Swan Stakes, a grade 2 here in San Francisco, going 7 furlongs on the turf. Our 4-year-old colt Ice Crash will be up in this contest. Not expected to actually do well here today. Middle of the road odds. And he's always, can't say always, but it seems like it, depending on the tracks. But there's usually a case that he's going to be under bet. And we usually end up doing better than what the odds suggest. But Tidy Creek, really good horse, the 11 down there. The favorite, heavy favorite. So we're looking for the upset with Ice Crash in this competitive grade 2. We'll see if our 4-year-old colt can get it done here today. Clear skies, no excuses for any mistakes, so gotta get it dialed in and make it happen, right? It's a pretty good start there with the Ice Crash. And he wants to sit towards the back. He doesn't want to be trailing horse, but yeah, once we get him dialed in there, we should be pretty good. Okay, he's pretty cool right here, so if we can maintain this positioning, this is a pretty good trip. Try to just take advantage of the inside rail there. And I said he didn't want to be in last, but he's in the blue. Blue means he's completely content, happy with the situation, so a long way to go. Let me go ahead and get a drive here with Ice Crash now. It's going to be a tough test. I mean, he's not supposed to win here today, so we're just kind of looking for an upset, looking to catch some horses, you know, maybe napping here in the stretch, and he's got a good drive. We're going on some good momentum. And Ice Crash looks like he's going to try to get himself up into 4th place at the line. And that's a perfect example of what I mean. Whatever the bookies say, whatever the betting public says, this horse is ready to run much higher than that predicted position. To win races with him, he's kind of the horse where it has to be perfect time, perfect everything type of day. But I'm enjoying racing him against tougher competition and seeing him compete. I think these results are going to work for him. He has a good GR rating as well. So the game is paying attention to these results. That's essentially what it's communicating to us. So I'll take that 4th place result there with Ice Crash. We were supposed to finish outside of the money, so it's always a good day for me. A quick close to the card here today will be the Grade 1 King Cup Autumn. only 10 furlongs on the turf. Our 4-year-old filly, Bless My Path, decided to put her in this race. She will not be the favorite. She is the second favorite behind a very, very good 4-year-old colt, possibly in his prime, Easy Traffic. And I've had the pleasure of working with that horse. Great colt, built for this type of race, built to run 10 furlongs, to handle whatever the pace really is, and to be there to give you as much of a headache as possible in the stretch. It's never an easy day with Easy Traffic, that's for sure. And there's the 4-year-old colt, Easy Traffic. So we're gonna have our work cut out for us here at Bless My Path. Arlen has been on a pretty good trajectory here this season as well. The jockey, the rider, so not going to be an easy King Cup Autumn here for us today, but confident Bless My Path should be able to get it done. We have the same leg type as Easy Traffic, so we'll be running close to each other, if not probably side by side most of the race. So expect this one to be a shootout, I'm sure. It's the King Cup Autumn. It's a great start for Bless My Path. Absolutely fantastic start. I'm going to go ahead and send her here and just kind of see how the field responds. Be on the lookout for, of course, our rival. Not seeing Easy Traffic yet. Easy Traffic to the outside. Okay, great start from Bless My Path. This is definitely the type of race I prefer to be on a front runner. At minimum, Proceeder. But yeah, I feel like when I have to race against really competitive horses, I don't really want them to be too far ahead of me at any point in the race. I want to keep them within striking distance at all times. So ideally, like, just racing closer towards the front if that's where the lead horses are, man. Like, that's where I want to be. Okay, so we're cruise control here. We're gonna let them burn themselves out a little bit. That's fine, that's fine. Okay, now we're gonna go with Bless My Path. Now we're gonna save. Here we go, Bless My Path. She's got a really good run. Really good run, Bless My Path. And she may have taken off on this field. Bless My Path, Easy Traffic doesn't have an answer on the outside. Sticking with us though, but it's gonna be Bless My Path to get it done in the King Cup Autumn. And what a way to end the card. It's exactly what I talk about. Stay within striking distance. We have a fair chance, and Bless My Path. Easiest strip in the world. Great start. You nearly go gate to wire. I mean, I could have had her in the lead, pushed her just to be half a length ahead, but there was no need for that. Bless My Path gets it done. It's a big grade 1 there for our 4-year-old filly. She is absolutely killing it this year, on a roll. And that's the exact type of trip, exact type of ride I like to have in my races. Keep it simple, and let's just outwork the other horse in the stretch, and that's exactly what she did. Easy Traffic kept up with us, but we beat that horse clear by 1.25 lengths. Fusion Power to round off the trifecta in third there. So that is exactly what you want to see from your 4-year-old filly and Bless My Path. And she made it easy. She made it really, really easy. So that's, like I said, that's what I would prefer in a race like that with those conditions. Keep me closer to whoever the most competitive horses are going to be, and let's just kind of outwork them in the stretch. That's a big win for us. Nice points as well. Ice Crash, as you see right there on the right hand side of your screen with the column, GR ranking. Ice Crash is 4th. Bless My Path is the best horse, I guess they're saying as of now. They rank her 1. And Ice Crash is 4th. So however the game decides that, the algorithm, I couldn't tell you, but it obviously weights wins, losses, performances, all of that. Saying Bless My Path is the best horse on track so far this year, closing out the last 2 months. And Ice Crash is your 4th best horse. So that's why I said that 4th place result with him, that didn't feel like a loss to me, because we were under bet and we outperformed. You know, if you were someone that was looking at us and you had us on a ticket, right, you would have had a good day, because everybody else at your track said, no, they don't have a chance to finish in the money. Rounded off the superfecta, man. That's how you get those big superfecta payouts. That's the type of race we had with Ice Crash. So if we go to the data here to close out, just to kind of show you guys what I'm talking about in a bit more detail. Ice Crash here. Sorry, that's my alarm going off. Essentially being done here anyways. And when you look at his stats, the star ratings particularly, he actually looks like a well-rounded horse for the most part, right? The braking and the conditioning at 3 aren't ideal. You'd want those to be 4. I'm sure most of you. But he has a 5-star incline, okay? So really, really good power to handle any sort of track surface, incline, decline. You guys know how I feel about horses with really, really good power ratings, man. It's almost a non-negotiable for me now in this game, even more so than the stamina. I know I can find a horse with really, really good stamina if I'm patient, but when it comes to power, man, it's hard to find horses with really, really good power ratings. Ice Crash and his pedigree have come a long way, and power has been a keystone, and I think it's why he ends up outperforming what the bookies and the public says. In regards to his performance, he runs 8 to 13 furlongs. You obviously don't really put him on the dirt at all. He's a turf horse only. Likes to sit towards the back. 17 lifetime starts, only 6 wins. But again, you see the results. You saw that grade 2 we ran with him. It's those type of results that he's having. And then he's winning a race pretty much every 3 or 4 races. If you look at that ratio, 6 wins and 17 starts. Yeah, it's pretty much a win every 3 races, technically. Closer to that. If you want to push it to 4, you can. But that's really what the ratio is. So this is a horse that's still hitting the board consistently enough to win and give you a good payday on a semi-regular basis. You know what I mean? This is a horse you can pretty much count on. The game hasn't waited for that. Bless my path. This filly, you look at her, 10 to 14 furlongs, 4-star ratings across everything except for the temper. You just saw us win that grade 1 with her. You didn't really sense or see any temper, right? Temper I take with a pinch of salt. If the horse gives it, I just have to work around it. But for the most part, I trust that as long as I get the horse in the position that's going to make them the most comfortable, that is going to reduce them, you know, to not having a temper, right? It's going to reduce the likelihood of them being upset. That's obviously the goal. That's what you aim for. So you look at that win, 14 lifetime starts for this filly, 10 wins. That ratio is obviously obvious. I said the same word twice, but my intentions were to say that obviously speaks for itself, not to actually say the word obviously twice. I had like a weird glitch there. That's no bueno. GR rank 1, and almost at her peak, not quite, but absolutely amazing, you know. And then you look at stablemate here, Sweet Storm, who I would say is our best overall, well-rounded horse on track currently. The stats and the results in the past have, you know, they've spoken for themselves. 20 lifetime starts and 18 wins. She's only lost twice, so she's also GR rank 1. So we have 2 horses ranked as the best horses currently on track, Fast and AV. And I would say an out of barn stallion that we're boarding, GR rank 5. You know what I mean? Arctic Crop, 4-year-old colt, GR rank 3. I mean, it's showing you we're pretty much dominating most of the top rankings for what these horses, what their categories are, and that depends on their age and their gender. But you know, you're seeing the pattern. All these horses are actually performing really good according to the game. When you're starting this game out, no, your horses, you do have to grind to get to this point, man. You don't get to GR ranks of 6 and 5 and 1 and 3 and these single-digit numbers without having consistent and good results. You know, it doesn't always have to be wins, but your horses have to be in the consistent position. Look at Hell Ruby here, 2 lifetime starts, 1 win, so right. And like I said, GR rank 542 because we just started racing with her. So even though she's already won technically 50% of her races, the game doesn't weight that as saying, oh, the horse is great. Because look at it this way, she could win that first race, lose the second, and then lose the rest of her races. And then the GR ranking of 542 makes sense, right? So the game does reward you from actually winning and winning consistently. I remember I saw a comment somewhere where somebody thought the GR ranking was kind of random. I'm like, maybe it's not accurate to what we think our performances should be and our rankings should be for our horses, but it definitely is coded algorithm that weights every result, every performance, and it gives it a grade, it gives it a percentage, a boost, a buff, or a nerf, whichever way your horse is going. If your horse is winning a lot, you're going to naturally climb up the GR ranking. And I think that's a very unique trait that this game has that the other games may possess, but it's not visually, it's not visibly shown to you in a visual way, I guess is what I'm trying to say. In this game, you can check your horse's profile, see everything, and see what they're actually ranked on screen. From my understanding, 2001 of Gallop Racer, 2003, and 2004, those things are still on different tabs. Like, you can't see your horse's GR ranking in Gallop Racer 2004 or 2003. For that matter, on the same screen like you can in this game. And again, I think that's just good to keep us mindful of where our horses are, how well they're doing. Sudden Beat, we just acquired this colt 2-year-old, 1 live type start, didn't win it. We are ranked 1085. You know what I mean? Like, this game does reward you based off of like more longer term success than short term. Sleepy Ruin, 2 lifetime starts, no wins. But she's already moved up to GR rank 204 because she's been placing high enough in her races. The game is waiting like, oh, this is a horse that's close to winning, finishing in the money, hitting the board, just not getting there quite yet, but doing better than most horses. You know what I mean? There's a clear pattern of how the game treats horses based off of their wins, losses, where they're finishing, so on and so forth. And when you think about it in a real horse racing context, it kind of is how the system works if you're looking at it from that type of technical detail. Obviously it works differently in the real world, but that same sort of pattern, that same sort of recognition and boost, that's usually what happens. Sure, some horses that are popular get more attention, but for the most part, horses, that win consistently and win the right races and place well at the right races, they usually earn their keep into the biggest and most competitive races that all of us like to enjoy and watch. So I think that's a cool thing that this game already had that mechanic in it, and it's one of the reasons I still continue to play it. I think it helps with the immersion, and it helps just gauge how good or bad your horses are doing compared to others, and compared to just your other, or I should say your own in-house, fillies and colts that are also on track. So I think that mechanic overall is just really good to have around. I'm glad that they have it in this game. Wish they would have, included it as an option in the others, but that'll do it for today. We will be back as we are in November, so trying to get through this year. I'm sure we'll probably win most of the awards because, as you saw by the rankings, all of our horses are essentially the best, are within the best top 6 really of whichever respective class they're a part of. So that in itself gives us higher probabilities for multiple awards and hopefully a title or two. I haven't been keeping track of chasing titles. I'll do that at some point once we get a little bit more streamlined in this series, but for now I think that actually works out for us, that we just have all of our horses doing pretty well, and we could be doing better with some, but honestly, as long as they're all consistent and winning and moving up in their ranking, that to me is the result. And some of these horses get closer to retirement, which it's only the 2 because they're all 4 years old out of the 10. 8 of them are 4, and you have a 5-year-old mare and a 5-year-old horse here in Fast Navy, and we can technically continue to probably race these 2 for like another 2 years. So when I think about it, there's probably not going to be any early retirements unless we just feel like a horse just isn't competitive anymore, and racing them is just just not really fair, and it doesn't really make any sense. Sure, that'll happen, but for now everybody's kind of still blue to kind of run and continue to do the best that they can. So we'll see how that plays out. Appreciate you guys for the love and support. Until next time though, HRG signing out. Well, you have a great day today. We'll see you later.